They held me at sword point. It's probably best for me not to go back in there. Just like, you know.
And Velas is just like, hi, I'm a drow.
Yeah, they're not gonna.
Oh, hi.
By the way.
I mean, they're Shadarkai, so.
Yeah, we didn't know that. I mean, Velas and Wiria don't know
I forgot about that. Ah!
Only
that was a thing.
Nothing is as it seems.
Only Aiden, Curtis, and Elias know that. They're gonna have to fill everybody in on all the things.
I'm sure that was really loud.
All the things.
Ah!
And then we can run off and figure out what's going on in the spoopy woods.
And everywhere else. My god.
I want answers! Ah!
Yeah, I want all the answers there.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting thinking about things from Velas' viewpoint, because I know that Spoopy Woods are probably the most dangerous place we've ever been.
Mm-hmm.
But he's like, yeah, I can handle that.
Yeah,
we're not fucking aberrations. I'm fine.
Hashtag this is fine.
Whereas less excited about Spoopy Woods, not because she's particularly scared of them, but because there's no people in Spoopy Woods, and she likes people.
Okay. Velas is just like, yeah, I can handle stabbing things. I just don't want it to be fucking aberrations.
Wiria is mostly a extroverted optimist, which is a very interesting thing to play.
I love Wiria.
I love Wiria too, but like she's in some ways, you know, I mean, Velas is from you too, but like some ways so very different from me that I'm like,
Always look on the bright side of life.
That's Wiria. I was trying to explain to someone. Oh gosh, I think it was when I went with Phoebe to Evan, Sarah, and Rin and all of theirs for Spoopy game night, and I was explaining how Wiria now has a level in Celestial Warlock, and how a hag tried to tempt her and picked the worst possible way to tempt Wiria specifically.
Yep.
Would have potentially worked on anyone else in the party, but not on Wiria.
Yeah. Let's just say her insight skill was
not her best.
That! Throw in my dice.
Run away, dice, run away!
I don't want this one to run away. This one is heavy.
Yeah, the dice...
so shiny.
The dice Aaron gave me for belated Christmas are also very heavy. They're metal.
Yeah. I've been looking at dice. I want another set, but I just don't know what I want for Velas.
I mean, I figure I have all the Kraken dice from the Kickstarter coming at some point.
Yeah.
And like, I figure I should, and I've got a couple other dice sort of ordered either via Kickstarter or via pre-order. So I figure I shouldn't buy more dice sets until at least some of those come.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's the only thing holding me back.
I dice on the way.
Although I am highly tempted by that Keyfish dice because it's adorable.
Right? I wish they could make a maiden set, but I don't know what it would look like, and it's one of a kind, so...
Yeah. Yeah, no, her stuff is fully handmade.
Yeah. I'm wondering if I saw them before, because I feel like I saw someone making stuff like that selling it at OhioCon, but maybe they're not the same.
I mean, multiple people do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of them look familiar, though. I could be wrong.
She like, I got some sticker, like, you know, promo stuff from her in my advent bag of holding, which is how I found her.
Nice.
I've been looking at sets, but like, I want a metal set. But I feel like the black and silver is the most Velasy metal set, but it's also kind of boring.
Yeah. Yeah, I only have a couple metal sets, and I do like them. I don't actually use them that often, though.
Yeah, I'm afraid of breaking my
that because
mimic
it is
chest.
a Vela set, but
I find that the metal dice, if I'm using using my wormwood stuff, or if I'm not, even if I'm just rolling, if I'm using my dice tower, because they're so heavy, they basically, well, not always, but sometimes they just sort of fall and hit flat.
Yeah.
They don't do a lot of rolling, and I kind of like when dice, bounce around a little bit before you get to a. So that's sort of the thing with the metal for me, is that they bounce less.
I just kind of like the way I flick them out of my hand. It rolls really hard in my tray because I don't use a tower.
Yeah, no, and I like rolling them a little better when I use the tray, but I use the bigger tray. But I use the bigger tray for Strahd because it's Bloodwood. So Strahd gets my Bloodwood tray, and this gets my Zebrawood dice tower.
I just had my little messy thing that I never actually glued together properly.
It works.
It works.
I mean, I love my wormwood stuff, but it is definitely not an essential item.
Yeah.
It's pretty, and I like it, but...
I think I've got it between a black and silver set or just a straight silver set. I'm just not sure which I want to go with for that. I do love the black and gold. I don't feel that gold is an especially Velas color, but this set feels very Velas anyway.
I mean, it doesn't necessarily, the gold doesn't have to be a Velas color if the set feels right.
Yeah.
It does. It does. I love this set so much. That's my main Velas set. It's so pretty.
Oh, hey, we're getting close to 7.5 million.
Hey!
7,420,340.
It's gone up about 10,000 since I looked at it earlier. I was curious.
Yeah, it's still going up nicely. Much slower than the first couple days, but it has not really stopped.
Yeah, I still anticipate hitting the full stretch goals because I think there'll be another rush before it closes.
Oh, so. Yeah, well, and actually the rate it's been at, I mean, it depends on what that final stretch goal is, but the rate it's been at, even if there isn't a rush, we could reasonably hit.
A comment that Sam made, it sounds like it's going to be 8.8.
I've heard that, but we don't know for sure.
Yeah.
I've heard that Sam said that, made a comment that made it sound like that.
I think it was on Talks, maybe.
But we don't actually have it officially revealed, so. But yeah, I don't see it as I mean, we've got a lot of time, so even if we just keep creeping up by, 100,000 a day.
So much money.
Only 100,000 a day.
Holy shit, guys!
I mean, I don't think. I mean, I'd have to look at numbers. But
That's so much.
I mean, it's definitely been moving up by more than 50,000 a day. So, I mean, even if we go up at like 50,000 a day, what's that? 33 days to go, so that's
still a lot.
A lot.
So much. All the monies.
That's
50 a day times 30. That's still like at least another million.
Right.
That's 1,650,000 because calculator.
Yeah, so that would put us like if we went up 50,000 a day for the rest of an average of 50,000 a day for the rest, we would be past 8.8. Even without a rush. But it's hard to say. No one knows. We'll see. We will see, but it seems it has not been dying, let's put it that way.
Yep. Really?
Is your cat doing
something? Taking a nap on my clothes. She's taking a nap on my clothes. She's like curled into them with her face kind of buried on it. My work clothes, my sleeping clothes are just kind of I put them in a pile off to the side, and she found it and made it a bed.
Cats.
Oregon, you are cute. She didn't even respond to her name. She is sleepy.
Sleepy kitty.
I got a twitch.
You bring the cat onto Twitch, and then I get all the followers. That's how this works.
I mean, the cat will probably insert herself onto Twitch at some point.
The cat will insert herself.
Yes.
That is
turn that into a drinking
that's
game.
Still up. It's still up for now. She's definitely going to be inserting herself at some point because
that hasn't come down. Yeah.
Oh, it did come down before my camera went on.
Right, but I mean,
but not since yet.
Yeah. So I started.
Guys are slow, huh?
I started prepping for regen today. Much shock testing and packing.
Yeah.
I think for the
I
eggs,
need to get some pottery from you.
The eggs, when I put them out, I'm going to put a piece of like gaff tape on the back of the lid and the body so that people don't accidentally just knock the lid off.
That's a good idea. Have you ever made like a mug that looks like your eggs?
No. I have not. I could.
That'd be really cute.
But it would take more of that colored porcelain, which is expensive, so the price would be high.
I see.
Yeah. The eggs are priced where they are because I have to buy special clay for them. I mean, I could mix my own colored clay, but that is a lot of time.
Can you not?
No!
So that is my old man cat, and he's decided that he thinks it's funny to just fucking scream. I don't know why.
Aww.
Cats.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go tell him to shut up.
Okay. I did mix, we'll see if it turns out actually black, but I did mix some black mason stain into some porcelain, and I'm going to do some black and white work. If it actually comes out black, it's hard to say what'll happen. If it doesn't, it'll still probably be pretty. It'll be like gray or blue or something.
Mm-hmm. Realized I have just one of my things in D&D Beyond because it doesn't have the correct plus.
D&D Beyond. I'm so glad I figured out what the frig D&D Beyond was doing with my HP, though.
Yeah, that's a good thing. I
guess when I created the character sheet, I clicked the wrong box, and so it was doing what I didn't want with my HP. Yeah, where is the rest of the group?
Yeah, where's everybody?
I was talking to Bess earlier.
Yeah, Maggie was around earlier too.
Right. And
I was talking to her.
To these markings, everybody is thumbs up for today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. There's somebody.
We'll see if people.
There's Maggie.
Maggie's alive.
Talking at least.
Getting set up now.
Yay!
So then it's just Bess and John.
I saw them, they had the little phone icon next to their names, so they might be in transit coming back from getting food or dinner or something.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
It just won't let me edit that. Okay, that's fine.
That's fine. Everything's fine.
This is fine. I'll remember. This is fine. All I need is the damage. I don't need...
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, We'll probably at some point RP it out, but we'll probably give Velis the +1 arrows she bought because she now has way more useful ways to attack things from a distance.
Yeah.
Aww. Yay.
With magic, and therefore,
Right.
because she bought those.
I pew pew sometimes.
Something needed to be hit with magic.
Yeah, I mean...
I mostly stab, but sometimes I pew pew.
Right, no, but that's the point. Is they're useful
2d10 force damage plus your charisma modifier to it.
Damn.
Yeah, with the ability to bonus action heal, because it's a cantrip. It's nice.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
I forgot you got a healing cantrip.
No.
No.
I have a healing attack. I have more healing.
Oh yeah. Healing action, bonus action, attack, or healing bonus action
with an attack cantrip. Yeah.
Yes. Words.
It's fine. I
My
understand.
brain was there. My mouth was not quite.
I know.
That's how that works.
100% know that feeling. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt. The level of know that feeling. But yeah, she bought like 5 +1 arrows that she now probably has no real use for. So
all yours.
It seems like something Velis might occasionally need.
It would be useful. So I was asked to go to an 8:30 in the morning manager meeting at work, and I'm not a manager.
Why?
Because they want me to basically do my actual manager's job for him because he took another position, but they haven't hired a replacement yet. And
Say no to that shit. They better give you that promotion.
For this.
Yeah.
You are not paying me for this.
Yeah.
It's really shitty.
Yeah.
That is shitty.
I'm planning to just... We're just really busy and we're understaffed right now. Mm-hmm. So this week was really stressful, for sure, for me, because I was working alone almost all week. And it was just, I had more to do every day than I could possibly get done in my shift, but the closers were helping to an extent, but it's like we were just so behind because we've been understaffed. We moved one person 2 months ago, and no, it hasn't been that long. Weeks ago, somebody got moved, and we didn't hire anyone else yet, and now our manager is moving, but they haven't hired a replacement for him yet. It's like, stop moving people if you're not going to hire more.
Yeah.
I cannot do everything by myself.
Yeah. My work was stressful for other reasons, but it was very stressful. I may have had a mini anxiety attack on the floor of my office on Monday. That was fun.
No.
I mean, I'm over it now, but it was definitely, that day was real bad. Shit happens.
Here is typing.
I need new glasses because
You do.
Luckily, can't see it, but just like
you need new glasses.
I stepped on it, and then like here and here, this entire bit snapped off.
Oh.
You don't want to do that. That's no bueno.
Yeah, I need to get contacts, but that's less important than your broken
really
glasses.
like these frames.
I'm sure you can find other frames you like, Erin.
Yeah.
It's not that hard.
I really, 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 really missed contacts.
Yeah, I need contacts for all sorts of reasons, including but not limited to that my glasses keep getting fogged up while I'm skating, and that's really annoying. So I can't.
That would
Yeah.
be. Not something I would have considered.
I was in my lesson on Thursday, and I kept having to skate over to the side so I could wipe my glasses off because they were fogging up, and I couldn't. And I was like, "This is frustrating. That is not what I need right now. Lack of ability to see." Brady. Oh, Erin, do you want to carpool to Regen this year again?
Yes, please.
Cool.
Yay for being much closer.
Yeah.
I want to con with you guys. At least we have Matsuri Con.
Yep.
Yes. I'm excited.
I need to call the hotel.
You do. You should do that.
I should do that. I gotta get the dates. Brewery.
No.
Which app is that? Oh. We have another person, yay.
Hello. Hi. Get on there. Kristen is working on getting us a hotel room for Matsuri-kan. That's why she's muted. She was like, "Oh, I should do that." I was like, "Yes, you should."
Yes, you should.
It would be nice.
Yeah.
How goes the regen prep, Maggie?
It goes.
Same.
I got a little done today.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
Day, so we'll.
We will be buying Girl Scout cookies again because there's Girl Scouts.
Because there's Girl Scouts like
a few tables away from us.
A few tables away.
Yes.
That's
It
dangerous.
looks
Also across from Riddle's tea shop.
We're across from one of the tea sellers, and we're only a couple tables down from the other tea seller.
Yeah.
Nice.
And both of them are super nice. So
Yeah.
That's good. Now the person I want to find again is the two people that we were next to at Potterverse with the metal
the chainmail. They're
here?
Yeah.
Yes, good. Phoebe wanted another worry square.
I saw them on the list.
Good.
It's up on the website.
Yeah, if you go to the Regen website,
They're actually, let me see. They are Skull and Bones.
Aha.
So they're not too far from me either, actually, which is cool because I like them.
Hooray.
Yeah, I think I've seen their stuff. I've not gotten anything.
They weren't at Regen last year, but they were at Potterverse. I don't think they were at Regen last year.
Yeah,
I know I've seen
some other cons, people that do like chainmail stuff. So it may be different.
Regen has had a couple different chainmail people before. They were really nice. They were my next door neighbors at Potterverse. We got along very well. That's where my blue and bronze book color Ravenclaw chainmail necklace comes from.
Nice. Yeah. On the futon today because not feeling great.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
I have tea, so
Tea is good.
Tea, so like,
We're still waiting on Bess and John.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm losing the cameras again.
I've got everybody now. Yay!
I had to refresh once you came in, Maggie, to get you, but
yeah,
same.
Once I refreshed,
refreshing again because I had everyone for a second and then I lost everyone.
I don't know why, but I have my default set to put everyone on the top of Roll20.
Mm-hmm.
But it never does that. It always puts everybody's cameras at the bottom.
I've been doing that too. Like I feel like it's some kind of glitch with Roll20 now because I used to have that and then it switched it, and it won't let me switch back.
Everyone.
Gonna dump this out. I need to get a bigger dice bag.
Something wrong with their CSS, I think.
Probably. Or something.
It might be slightly small, but we have a room. Well, I can't say small. They had a king room, but it was a suite. So like there's the couch and stuff.
Okay.
Oh, like a king size bed and a couch.
King and a suite.
Hold on a minute.
That's usually what
Yeah.
a suite. Yeah, it's usually a.
Because that's fine. Like three of us have fit in a king size bed before, and then we have a couch.
And then we have a couch. Yeah.
If I make a phone call, I always lose Bluetooth in the Discord call, and I forgot about that. So. But yes, we have rooms.
Yay, place to sleep.
Yay. She's like, we have one room. I went, yes, I'll take it. I don't care what it is.
I'll take it. Yeah. I'll take it.
We can sleep on the floor if we need to. Just give me a room.
Yeah. I've definitely, I slept on the floor at AUSA this year. It's
yes, you did.
If we have a couch, it'll be fine. Or something. Suites usually have, if it is a suite, have some kind of something we can screw it in. They're just going to sit on the futon next to me.
I have no Maggie.
Yeah,
I just refreshed because Roll20.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to give you a few minutes and then I'm going to refresh because every time you
lately,
refresh...
rather than refreshing, I've just been reconnecting my video and that seems to work.
When I say refresh, that's what I mean.
Mm-hmm. I used to just refresh the whole page because it was just stupid, but I almost
never refresh the whole page. I just unless other things are being stupid. If it's just the video,
the entire Roll20 froze for me. So
that would be a good reason to refresh.
Actually, refresh the entire page. Good times. But I need to.
All right. So we'll
music.
Almost there.
Yeah.
Right back.
Bess and John.
Yeah. Somewhere.
I haven't heard
Best
from
John.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could text
I mean,
one of them.
Brendan said he was talking to Bess earlier today, but I don't know.
I can't wait till my new dice get here. I caved and I got 2 new sets from the Kraken sale.
I've been
Nice.
trying to exercise some degree of self-control with dice because I have so many coming from the Kraken Kickstarter.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
I got 2
I want dice, but I don't know what I want. I was actually dice shopping yesterday, but I couldn't find anything that was like the right set.
Yeah, I got. It's like I paid as much for 2 sets as I would have for one regularly. So
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
the warehouse sale was really good.
Yeah, I have.
I want to look. What did you get? Which ones did you get?
I think it's over now. It was just like a 48 hour.
Oh yeah, it closed
like a flash
down.
sale. I got the blue and black Protostar for my paladin that I'm playing now. And then I got the pink jelly ones just because they're cute and they're like kind of almost a rose gold pink.
Mm-hmm.
They're pink with gold numbers.
Yeah.
I was like, these are cute, and they're like $4 for the set, so I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I have.
They were factory rescues, I think.
Mm.
So they're like might have a little,
A little flaw.
Flaws somehow. It was like they look cute, and they're $4. I'm gonna buy them.
Yeah, I have the Kraken Kickstarter dice coming at some point, and then not as many, but
Soon,
a few
hopefully.
sets coming from other various Kickstarters. But those are much longer way out.
Yeah. So it should be soon. I know they were supposed to start shipping them this month, but they said that they had to send them back to get.
Yeah,
them.
it should be soon, but they had a problem with the factory.
They had a problem with the factory. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is
Most
totally
of the
understandable.
dice on Kraken are out of stock.
That happens with Kraken.
The sale. Yeah.
Well, that also just happens with Kraken generally.
Yeah, they seem to do like small batches of.
Yeah.
Their dice.
Okay, there. Now I've got Kristen. I was like, I kept not getting Kristen. Everyone else, not Kristen.
Yeah, there we go. I'll be right back.
Yeah, dice are good, but I got my ace dice recently, so those are nice.
Hey.
I
really, really, really like the dwarven steel. Those are really pretty. They're just the textured plain silver.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
But I like that.
Yeah. No, I like Krakens. In general, Kraken dice are really pretty.
I don't own any, and I'm looking at them now, and they have a lot that I really like.
Yeah.
The pink and silver and the blue and silver metal ones are really, really cute.
I also backed the most recent Spirit of dice Kickstarter. So
yeah.
I'm also tempted by the mystery set, honestly.
Yeah, we're here. It's probably a good thing.
Hi.
Hey.
Sorry, we took a while. Sold out when I looked because I was tempted to get they had the half pound of Misfit dice.
Oh.
I was like, that's real tempting. It's just a random assortment of just
stuff.
Dice.
Yeah, but I'm
enough
in my nose going crazy because of it. So
the only Kickstarter I'm kind of annoyed with is I backed like a dice bag Kickstarter a while back, and they didn't, instead of just doing one big backer survey, they're sending out backer surveys based on like how many bags you ordered, like as they finish, because they were still finishing the designs. And I backed for multiple bags, and so I haven't even gotten my survey yet. And they were supposed to be shipping like by next month, which isn't going to happen if they haven't even done my survey yet. Yeah. And they're just really non-communicative. Like some people have received their bags, so I know it's not that they're just took the money and run, right? They're like, it's just like they're not updating people, and it's like you realize people would be a lot more tolerant of delays if you regularly communicated them.
Okay, that's one thing that I like with Kraken is that they're very you know, they're very good about sending out updates and like, hey, you know, here's why that, you know, like they just
I have
did.
camera!
Hey, we had some issues.
Yes, you do.
But that's okay.
Stop.
You have to.
Oh wait, okay, I'm gonna get this. This is gonna work.
I see a Bess and a John and
come on.
an Aaron and I have everybody.
Yes, so do I.
I see Mr. John.
I will check what I
had to
have when I
refresh
get
to
back to
grab
my
them.
computer.
But it works.
Mine's very choppy, which makes it look really funny.
Let me try reconnecting because I actually can't see.
But they have everything, so I'm like, I don't know if I would risk refreshing it.
Yeah, I don't have
I'm just gonna try
Bess or John yet.
reconnecting.
Let me try reconnecting.
Okay, still got everybody.
No, got
Still got everybody.
I'm trying to talk myself out of buying
There we
these
go.
mystery dice, but I kind of want to buy these mystery dice.
Yeah, the whole time.
But yeah, so like I'm a
Fuck it, I'm buying the mystery dice.
I'm more than a little annoyed with that particular Kickstarter, just because. Again, I don't mind delays. I would even, you know, if you're going to be delayed multiple months, that's fine.
Yeah,
But update your
just the
people.
update. Yeah, let
Right.
people know. Yeah.
I am definitely just buying the mystery set. If I'm feeling indecisive, but I want dice, that seems like the best way to do it. So
That's fair. That's the way to go.
Yeah.
Mystery sets can be fun. I like mystery sets.
That was me on the Old Republic just recently. It's like, I want to get a new lightsaber crystal for my Sith, but I don't know what kind. Oh, I can just do a mystery thing for significantly cheaper. I'm gonna do that.
I mean,
I need to get back into Tor. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna get back to my Sith.
I am back on my bullshit.
I absolutely plan on.
I need to
when
download like
get-
50 gigs.
on Sunday of Regen. I'm absolutely going to do what I did on Sunday of Potterverse and make mystery bags again.
Yeah.
I didn't sell a ton of those, but I sold a few, and why not?
Yeah, I mean, I did
Also-
that years ago for a like a Gunpla mystery bag. It was like, it was I think 4 kits for I forget how much. I just remember the guy gave my friends and I a bargain on like 3 of them because it was Sunday afternoon, and he was like, "I don't want to have to take all of these back."
I feel like I ended up with 1 or 2 of those.
I think I might have given you because there was a seed.
The mini ones?
Yeah, I got like the Buster gun there or something.
Yeah.
Oh, the custom ones. I was like, what? Yeah, I
was
remember
like,
that.
I actually.
Oh, was that? That was the time I went with you guys, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It was like,
Peter
cool.
and I got
Something to build. I don't care about what the guns are. I'm just like, if it looks cool,
bags.
I want to put it together.
And I was like, I'm the only one who got an actual Gundam in mine, and it's not a Gundam I particularly care about.
All right, we've actually got everybody, guys.
everybody.
Yay.
We have gathered our party.
You control
Yes.
Let us venture forth.
So let us.
I feel like ours just doesn't like to pick up each other anymore, but that's fine.
Oh, I
You
need
can
to like.
see each other. It's okay.
I need to switch your camera on because that's really weird when you're like not looking at one another, but you are.
Stuff, and I really need to.
I've just
Okay.
gotten used to it. Like,
Same.
Beth looks off frame at John, who's the opposite side of her. It's fine.
Right.
Yep.
Last we left, the troublemaking troublemakers. Aiden, Elias, and Cortana
Well, and I
had
feel better, honestly, because then I didn't feel like you were just bored. And they all didn't.
gone to a meeting with one of the Veiled to bring back the body of the first ranger of Guardian Syllabus Alonria, to learn a little bit more about what exactly is going on. Although you're still there, and you've left with more questions than answers, as one of the other members of the council revealed. Well, really not a whole lot, just more confusion and questions. Meanwhile,
Technically didn't leave.
yeah.
Yeah, see, I don't think
he
we've
was on his way
actually
out.
Don't leave.
Yep.
Well, he left, but
Mhm.
Kristen down.
Kristen's not talking.
And Velis, Wuria, and Felice were left back at the Wandering Dao.
No, we stayed out
into town.
Okay,
We were outside town.
Yeah.
Oh, you weren't even in
We
the
made the hut.
town.
Yeah.
No,
Velis didn't want to go into town, so we didn't go into town.
Gotcha.
we made a hut outside
We
town.
made a hut.
Yeah, I was gonna
All
say,
right.
I think you guys made a hut.
I appreciate that reminder because that. So okay, so you're not even in town. You're just waiting outside.
We're just chilling.
Yeah, I was like, I don't even know. I fell asleep.
Don't
I was
even
like,
say bye to
maybe-
Puma.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and it is sitting in the hut, sort of waiting around. When is the hut like translucent or is it like perfectly transparent on the inside? I know you can control it, but like
from the inside looking out, it's completely transparent.
Yeah.
From the outside looking in, it's completely opaque.
Gotcha. So
One-way glass.
yep, you're all sitting there, passing the time in some fashion. I'm not quite sure how. It is maybe evening, so the sun is probably beginning to
passing the
set.
time with Weary and Felice.
Oh gosh.
It's Felice. It's Felice doing wild shape charades. Seems to be that.
Probably. I think Zealous is just sitting there, just silently sharpening his dagger.
Where is probably carving something.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. So my first instinct is I'm like, oh, this is like when we first joined the party and I sat and braided Weiria's hair. My next his hair.
Yes.
Actually, good. Yes.
Okay, you've gotten through 3 of the party's hair so far. You need to get through the rest of them now. You braided almost everybody's.
I am sitting in braiding as he sharpens his daggers. Yes.
It is.
I feel like I'm giving him those little like side
evening.
cornrow things.
Viking
It's
braids.
Yeah.
cooling down, and you can feel another shudder, a tremor in the ground. It's not nearly as pronounced since you're kind of out in the middle of nowhere, and so you just sort of feel a gentle rolling. And you pause, braiding, sharpening, whittling, kind of looking at one another. And kind of in that moment, you hear the call of a seagull.
Mine?
Mine?
We're not especially close to the water.
Are you? Yeah.
No.
Are we?
No, we're
not.
near the
No,
water.
you are absolutely not
That
close
is
to the
actually
water.
where you're going. We're not especially close to the water.
I feel like Felice is just like, I mean, clearly she knows this is not its normal territory, so I feel like my druid senses are like, unnatural bird placement? What?
Felice's bird senses are tingling.
Yeah.
Especially coastal birds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what you can see as you sort of look around is there is a seagull that is circling above you, kind of a lazy circular pattern, just calling out every now and again.
Well, that's not obvious at all, is it?
Can I...
Any idea why a seagull would be circling here,
I
Felice?
have a feeling it's not a seagull. Should I shoot it down?
Oh, but we don't know what it is. I don't.
What if it's friendly?
I'm trying to remember, I'm like,
it could be a nice,
hang on.
nice knot.
I'm picking up my binder. I'm like, what if people they won't be there?
I don't want to shoot a nice knot
Please, you turn
seagull.
into birds. Can you tell if someone else has turned into a bird?
Question. If I wild shape into a seagull, can I talk to the other seagull?
I'm not sure.
I honestly don't know.
Yet another question about the Druid Wild Shape.
Do you have, or you probably
Can you change into a seagull?
Actually, no, you can't.
I don't
You
have a
can't
fly. I
change
don't
into
think
something
you're
with
hiding
fly.
Nothing with a fly speed yet.
And I don't have speak with animals prepared. I like my gnome stuff can let me like understand. I think like communicate on basic levels.
Just flag it down.
Yeah, just be like, hey!
Yeah, I'm like. Okay,
Should
would
I?
Felice know? Is there any way to like? Actually, Druidic is a written language, right?
It could be, possibly.
I think if I recall, it's one of those things I don't pay a lot of close attention to a lot, but like I think it's a written language too. Like I feel like in my brain it works kind of similar to Thief's Chant of like Because it's the secret language of the druids, right?
Right.
I feel like it's just not talked about a lot.
After a few moments, the seagull sort of starts like slowly drifting down, and lands on the ground sort of outside the hut, and is just sort of like wandering about, calling out every now and again.
All right. So if it comes down,
can drop the hut.
Well, can I exit the hut and come back in?
I think we want to let it look in.
So
right.
Felice should say, "No, you guys stay here. I just want to see if it might be friendly." And she's just gonna
be careful, Felice. Bella's gonna grab her shoulder before she goes out.
Just like
grabbing her by both shoulders.
I'm like, can she just like? She's literally gonna stop right on the other side of the door and just like literally.
We can
and not go any farther.
Right.
We can keep an eye on her, and if anything happens,
I just want to say one thing before we go greeting the strange bird.
Can she
just
hear
remember that we are very, very close to a very paranoid city of elves that probably wants to know what's in here.
Felice I feel like Felice is like, no, this is fine. It's a seagull. So she's literally just going to pop out and in Druidic just say, "Are you a friend?"
When you pop your head out, the seagull turns to you, squawks, hops forward, and then you can hear it start speaking. And after a moment, you recognize it as Karen's voice.
She's
and you hear,
Karen,
Felice.
I can't fly. You can fly. That's so cool.
Focus.
I hope this message reaches you.
Oh, so it's not actually you. Got it.
Fucking love Felice.
It's been a few days. It's a 25-word limit on the spell, and I didn't pre-write this, so I gotta
do the gesture count of.
The Fire Ashari have been decimated. They can't help. Shit. Danger to the west. Hurry. And then the seagull like squawks and kind of like blinks its eyes for a little bit and looks around really confused.
Can I pat it on the head and say, "Thank you, kind seagull"?
Sure. And it just sort of like squawks again and kind of like looks around and like eventually kind of hops and starts flying away.
And she's just gonna kind of like then take the second of like, okay, and just like back in. Can I just like back in, knowing that the things behind me, just like do the slow backwards walk of like.
Also,
Homer back into the hut.
No!
Yeah.
What happened?
You all heard it. It was
speaking common.
It was speaking common, yeah.
Okay.
That is me after this.
The fire. What?
So that wasn't actually Karen, but he sent a message through the animal. I can do it too, but so have I ever explained the Ashari to these guys? I don't think I have.
I mean, where are you?
I think at some point you've explained that you're from the Water Tribe,
and at one point wasn't there another
Water Tribe? Thank you so much.
I'm sorry. There's a lot of crosstalk.
Best.
Briella was there.
Briella was there.
Wiria might know a little bit more because we traveled a bit before this.
Yeah. And if Phyllis knew Briella, that would also be like, okay, so there's like, I'm water.
Yeah.
Briella, who, Felice met at least briefly, was from Zephyr, from the Air Ashari.
Zephyr, yeah.
So there's Ashari tribes for each of the main elements, one of those being fire.
And
I don't know.
Fire Ashari.
I don't know what.
Elias is vaguely familiar.
Yeah.
But not here.
But not here. So.
but they
One second.
something, I don't know what, something happened, I guess, and somehow their whole tribe has been decimated, and there's danger that all I know is they need help.
Dragons? Maybe we did that. There were dragons over that part of the world.
Actually, the dragons were
Not that part.
He said to the west, and he said to hurry. So I don't think it's. It sounds like it's close to here.
Okay, I misunderstood the message then. Ignore. Yeah.
I don't know what, but all I know is Karen reached out for help, and I mean, first of all, that means that he found the Ashari people again and made it home, and that's good. But that they're in trouble and that they need help, and that I don't know. But
Did he say that your people need help? Or
he said that the fire Ashari were decimated. I don't know how many are left, but he said that they were not able to help, and I mean it. I don't know.
what does he think you can do?
Distinction, but
That's
To the how would we even figure out where to the west he means? I mean, we're heading. Aren't we heading west?
Heading west.
Anyway?
As you all sort of like slowly look to the west, where the sun is setting over the mountains to the west, you see the thin plume of what looks to be smoke or ash sort of rising up from the west.
Oh, a volcano! Someone mentioned a volcano.
Oh, wait, didn't someone? Yeah, didn't. Cortana isn't here either.
Yeah.
Sorry.
A long dormant volcano. Yeah.
Didn't someone mention a volcano?
did Felice hear that? I don't remember mentioning a volcano, but
I think it was when we were getting the body from the tribe.
Yeah.
I was
I don't think we ever.
That's why I was like, Felice would know. I don't.
Yeah. So
Treadfeet. I don't think I ever actually gave you any of their names other than like the shaman. But they were the Treadfeet.
Really asked either.
okay.
We don't tend to do that a lot.
Yeah, we're bad about that.
So if a volcano, okay, well we're heading. That's worrying. Well, we're heading that direction anyway, aren't we? So we can see if we can figure out what's going on with Karen as we go that way.
I mean,
is that where your fire Ashari are?
does Felice even know where? I mean, she would know vaguely, like
You know that the fire shards keep watch on a rift to the plane of fire on the continent of Asila, really far away, which is where Vasselheim is, and you know that Elias is from that region. You don't.
Otherwise, they're probably just.
I don't know if you've definitely.
I'm not.
been there.
Yeah. He's not there, so he can't be like, no, the fire Ashari are.
And
there may have been a fire Ashari to Vesra on the Aramente, maybe some point in your past. But that's you. Yeah.
But if they're decimated and it's something visible to the west, like, do I know, is that, like, where they're normally from, or was there probably something that like, why they would have been there, then, if that's not where they're from? Or is Felice just like, huh?
So, I don't know how good Felice's passive insight is.
Let me check.
Shouldn't be terrible.
I was like, her wisdom's 18, so...
Yeah, you have really high wisdom. Okay, that's what I thought. So yeah. Karen, most likely Karen was just flustered and didn't quite get the spell, and maybe he couldn't send two birds, or he did send two birds, and maybe one of them didn't make it.
Lost.
But the implication from his message is that if the Fire Ashari... If he specifically said Fire Ashari can't help, then it might have something to do with the fire plane or a rift having to do with fire.
Okay.
Because that's like, if something like that were to happen, the Fire Ashari would be the ones who would be called to figure out.
That makes sense then why. Because I was trying to figure out why he phrased it about them being decimated and then they can't help. And I was like, wait.
Right.
Are they the ones who need help though? Like...
Yeah, and I was thinking.
Like her passive insight, though, and that makes sense because it's Karen. So I feel like I would be able to figure out probably what he was trying to say.
Right.
And yeah, I feel like I would know at least that that's not like their main tribe,
Right.
whatever, Pira, is that it? Where they're from?
Pyra.
Pyra, whatever, yeah. So yeah, and I forget what the original question Weria asked was.
Well, Weria was saying we're going that way anyway, right? So we can try to figure out what's going on as we go to the west. It's not out of our way necessarily.
It looks like our problems are just piling one on top of the other around here, aren't they?
I mean, that happens, I guess.
I mean,
it certainly happens to us.
Yeah. You say that like that.
I don't know what all of us can do, but I know that I don't know. Each of us Ashari have our own tribe, but we're all kind of the big family tribe thing, and this isn't where the Fire Ashari are from, but he said that they couldn't help either. So whatever it is, it's something that they just need all the help they can get with. That smoke, if it looks like it's probably something with the volcano, and something happened to the Fire Ashari that they're not able to help, which is really bad because fire's kind of their thing.
Where are the Fire Ashari from, Felice? Do you know?
They're from Pyra, which is, you said it was on Vasselheim? It's near Vasselheim. Isn't that's where Elias is?
It's like 2 continents
I've
away.
never been there. I think it's sort of from near Elias-ish's home. I don't from really either, but it's not here.
So nowhere near here. Okay.
No, the Ashari tend to live in really secluded places. If we ever go home to my place, I mean, we'll see.
To be fair, this is pretty secluded.
Yes.
I mean, like I forget. Weria came to Vestra at some point, didn't she?
Probably.
Because that's how they met before.
Yeah.
So, like, she's like, you remember how it was, like, next to impossible to even get to Vestra? Because, like, water and storms and, like...
Yeah.
So, like, that's kind of the norm.
Oh,
so, like, when I say secluded, that like, they're usually really secluded because they just don't like people getting in a lot.
Fair. All right.
They're in charge of protecting the elemental things, and
that makes sense.
Don't want people wandering in there, not knowing what they're doing.
So they can't help with whatever's going on, probably with the volcano over there, and she sort of points towards the west.
I guess. I don't know for sure, but
Karen might be there. Well, we've had these earthquakes, so that would make sense with a volcano, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, Elias and Cortana needed to go that way anyway, right? So if we keep going that way, maybe we can help with whatever's going on, on our way to wherever Elias and Cortana need to get. So at least, if it's another problem, at least it's not a problem in the opposite direction.
I mean...
I don't know.
All I know is,
can you even do anything about something like that, please?
Sorry, I missed part of what you said.
Can you do anything about something like that?
I mean, me by myself, no, but that's kind of our thing. The druids all work together a lot, and I mean, the whole reason why our towns exist is because it takes it literally takes a village.
Well, we don't.
We also don't think we have a village.
We don't even know what. I mean, other than the fact that a volcano erupted, we don't even know what the problem is. So
no. So I don't. All I know is you guys met Karen, and he's kind of stubborn and really prideful still. So. I don't think he would reach out for help, though, unless it was really, really important, because he can try and do things on his own. So
I'm happy to try to help. I don't have a problem with that. I was just saying, we can't know until we go whether it's something we can help with.
If it's okay, though, I want to make sure that we at least look into it on our way out, wherever we're going. I can't just abandon them.
We're heading that way anyway, so I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but I don't see if we're already going that direction, making sure that whatever's going on, if it's something we can help with, that we help. I don't see a problem with that.
Okay. I mean, I guess are we waiting for people to get back?
Basically.
Yeah.
So then I guess we can't do anything until people get back, but I don't have animal messenger prepared, otherwise I'd send a seagull back.
Yeah. I mean, it could take days for seagulls to reach places. It's just druids don't have the sending spell. So that was sort of all he had.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
There's another tremor. Softer.
The ground is really unhappy.
And zoom back in over to the city, and Aiden, Cortanus, and Elias sort of staring dumbfoundedly at one another as the guards leave with the other council member, and the doors kind of close, leaving you.
Watching him on the way out.
Yeah, Elias is also watching that guy as he walks out.
All right. Just as he's about to leave. I mean, he's completely covered and veiled, so you don't really see him. But judging on the body language, it looks like he stops for a moment and then just almost imperceptibly turns to look and sort of regard all of you, and then steps outside, and the guards close the doors behind him, and you're left sort of in the chamber with just the first beginning hints of moonlight coming in. I guess the timing on this is a little bit off. So there's some moonlight, and it's about sunset, give or take. And that's when you all feel sort of another tremor.
Well, he certainly likes to make a show of his presence.
Yeah.
Katanas might
Also,
look back to... Oh, so, go ahead.
How has... I don't even know if we got her name, but the one you're talking...
Fasharash? Simnus Fasharash, right?
Sorry. Yes, as soon as the doors close...
to him coming in and that whole scene.
Yeah.
Katanas might slowly look back over to Sumnes. If I may ask, Councilwoman, what proposition was he referring to?
Marriage.
Knew it.
Of course.
Between who?
He and I.
Yeah, I don't see that working out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I've refused him so far. But there are few good matches left among my kind.
And I imagine the political play is also a factor.
Always.
Yeah.
That is as it is anywhere.
Boy, I'm glad I don't come from a rich family.
Yeah, you're.
He does not do anything out of sentiment. Everything is a move within a move on a game board that only he can see.
Yeah, he seems.
Well, I can appreciate that mindset. It is rather annoying to deal with sometimes.
So, quick question, Aiden, Cortanus, could you just want to clarify? Could you understand what he said as he left? Because it looked like.
I mean, yeah, I speak Elvish, and I just kind of do a dead stare at Elias.
Cortanus looks over to Aiden, confused. That was not.
Okay. Just with, the way the spell works. It sounded a little different, but alright.
I would say you might be, because you've been so used to hear, there may be a way of it was noticeable by all of you that he switched to common.
Yeah, that's why she was confused by Aiden for a second. She was trying to keep it low to Elias.
Elias is just being Elias.
Yeah.
Councilwoman, returning to our business, before we were interrupted here.
She sort of like stands up a little bit and kind of like shifts, like her body language shifts from like a full talking to almost like when you call her councilwoman, it's like a persona shift almost, and she's sort of regarding you and watching you intently.
We were still trying to hash out a bit of a compensation for our task here. I'm still in the prospect of trading information for the service, but since we are headed out towards the forest, I don't suppose you have any maps of the area, knowledge where certain landmarks may be within the forest, things along those lines.
Records, maps, histories were all destroyed by my people in a fit of short-sightedness. All I have are the stories and oral histories that passed down.
Did she explain exactly what happened? Like, she said they were refugees, but...
She outlined
Yeah.
basically what had happened.
I don't know if she mentioned if they knew about the cause at all, or if she specifically
something
they didn't know or not. But
so it was.
It was something to do with the corruption in that tree. And
but do we know what
darkness and corruption started taking over the city, or over the forest, and encroaching upon the city. Horrible monsters. And they were losing ground, and in an effort to escape, they attempted a ritual to basically pull the city into the Shadowfell, hopefully to where they could be safe or somehow protected by the Matrix
now.
Yeah,
but something went wrong, and so the city and the surrounding forest, instead of like shifting completely, got basically stuck
halfway
between the Shadowfell and the Prime Material Plane. And so the entire region is like it's infused with energies from the Shadowfell, and there are multiple it's sort of like at any given moment you might be in the material plane, and then another moment you might be in the Shadowfell. And it's kind of like it's unpredictable and difficult to track. The people, they continued to fight as best they could, and but what was interesting is that it worked to fend off the monsters and the approaching corruption and/or darkness. The negative energies seem to actually keep the monsters at bay to a certain extent, because they weren't as strong in the Shadowfell. But a bunch of people who had opposed the ritual to begin with left and said they're abandoning the city, they're abandoning their people, and that was the contingent that traveled south and ended up in modern day Guarden.
Did she say when this happened?
Was
pre-divergence.
Yeah. I say it was a long time
Would
ago.
I be able to? Would I know that whether or not? I mean, obviously she's Elvish, but she wouldn't have been living during that time, correct?
No, she actually said that there are no living members of the city who have living memory of it. They are all the descendants at this point. And even then, most of them are third generation.
Okay.
The oldest members of their society of the Veiled are the descendants of those who left, and they might have their oldest might remember sort of thing, but it's almost past beyond living memory.
I'm assuming we have a map of the area of some kind.
I think at some point you have a rough map of
at least
the
of the
Menacre
Greater
Coast.
Menacre Coast. Probably.
I mean, it's. I would say it's probably not much more detailed than Devon Rue's map.
Okay.
And in fact, I would say like the it's other than just being labeled Lushgut Forest.
Yeah.
Like that's like that, but the that very far northwestern peninsula, like it's like that final bit. Ostensibly, that was like the part that the Briarwoods were gonna like connect.
I think so.
That
because they'll be on the street,
right
there.
I'm listening to that part again.
It's once you get into that final, like through that final isthmus, is where the city is located, and for the most part, occasionally you get undead in the forest.
That's really
They never really get past the ruins. They don't really have to. In fact, any undead that are found in and around Gordon are believed to actually come through the Sirius Mountains from the Empire, and not from Lushgut. And while there are rumors of like horrible, monstrous creatures, and they have stories, and based on what you described from the monsters that you slayed on your way here, those stories sound vaguely reminiscent of the types of creatures that they fought long ago. But they've never seen them again. Nothing's ever come down this far.
So it seems more like the undead are more like being drawn to it rather than coming from it?
I think it's more just there's something about the Empire that just they spawn.
Yeah.
I never thought.
Long ago, it was before my time, but long after the city had been founded, there was a scourge of the undead across Wildemount. And it was largely through the actions of a few followers of the Matron of Ravens that stemmed that tide and was able to save most of the cities along the coast in the Empire. But ever since, the undead have, especially the Dwendalian Empire, have plagued Wildemount. Not so much here, the coast, but occasionally we do get of wandering hordes. Nothing too dangerous that we can't handle.
I'm curious, if we provided a map, would you be able to point out the area, perhaps we might find anything of note?
Perhaps.
Any information is better than none.
Yes. Again, records and maps and have all since been destroyed. The most I can tell you are the stories that were told to me as a child, the stories that were passed down of the trials that we went through.
All stories have an origin.
But the city itself lies in the furthest reaches of the forest, nestled in a large valley, protected from most of the outside.
Makes sense.
On the trek southwards, there were many who were lost along the way to both the incursions from the shadow and the rampagings of these creatures. But there was, I believe, a safe haven of sorts of fey creatures, denizens of the forest. We stopped for a time and took refuge there before passing along further.
Do you know where that was? I mean, is it somewhere in the forest still, or?
I don't know. But the stories were that we spent. I mean, they've long since been embellished. I mean, at this point, we spent years and years wandering the Menagerie Coast until, we came to find a new home. But I'd imagine if there's even a settlement back then, that it may have only become more established by now. There was talk of the dangers of somewhere within the forest, a dragon, a green dragon that claimed part of the forest as their own.
Well, we've dealt with a dragon before.
Dealt
Sort of like
certainly the word.
stop
Get
for a
that
moment.
again.
Dealt with.
We got very lucky.
Sort of nods. It was.
It's actually going up to the chapter.
We did not battle it, but we bartered with it. It was not interested in feasting on any of us, and we had very little of value that it could take. But it could still be a danger. I don't know. Dragons do live for some time, but I don't know.
What was it
Pretty
interested
much
in?
more than we
Yeah,
had.
I was actually wondering too. What was it interested in?
Primarily information.
Well, I'm sure we can deal on that.
Yeah.
He was
What kind
very
of
curious
information?
about magic. I believe perhaps some of our wizards left some of their spell books with it. But that was a millennia ago, perhaps. If it was even a thing, it could have been a story. I do not know. But the lands in the forest past the river to the west, and I wish I actually had a name for this river, but she names it whatever the name of the river is. I can't read it on the map.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
Those lands are wild and there's a clan, a tribe of people that wander this area, but they never go further than the ruins of Sepeska.
How far did they come this direction?
Occasionally they'll stop and trade, bringing information,
May have
animals, food, supplies.
Sleeping body.
Yes. Would that be the ones that we suppose the ones from
Okay.
before.
Sure.
She's not quite sure.
I'm sorry, she's looking at Aiden and Elias for that, but sorry.
Elf is not sure what's going
confirmation
on.
either direction. It's simply a theory. Well, just kind of look to the others, see if they have any other things they want to say.
There's a lot of information that Katanas would want, but she's not going to get it from someone who wasn't there.
If you wish, I could arrange for a meeting with someone who may be able to provide answers. They are very old and only remember a little, if they ever remember at all. Their mind is not always there. And she uses the...
You couldn't hear any of that. She uses nothing.
Elvish word for grandfather. He just calls him grandfather.
I was just kind of glancing Cortanus' direction.
Yeah, she looks kind of torn by that just because she knows that everyone else is outside the city. Perhaps it'd be something we could do more recently than not. The others have remained elsewhere, and we were not expecting to stay long.
I could bring you there this evening if you'd like.
Kind of think a moment and look to Elias.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, a little more information might be nice, but we could also. I know the others, certain members of our party, are very much ready to move on. So, I mean, at this point, I'm just preparing for the worst. That's that forest, you know.
If you want my opinion, better to take the chance at getting answers, because you don't know if you'll get that chance again.
Yeah. I don't have sending prepared, so I feel like I can't send them a message.
If you wish, if you tell me where they are, I could send a messenger on your behalf.
I think I can handle it. These two.
Yeah, if you want to, Aiden, if you want to go ahead and let them know, we'll catch up.
It would be most appreciated, Aiden.
I just give her a wink.
She's sort of like...
No, Cortanus.
Oh, Cortanus, okay.
Pronouns!
Antecedents are fun. Okay. You'll have an escort back. They're not going to let you wander around by yourself.
That's fair enough, although after a certain point.
I mean,
at
mostly
least out of the wooded city, anyway.
Right, leaving the forest, basically.
Yeah.
But she sort of pulls back over her headdress and her veil and sort of puts herself back together, and motions for you all to follow her. And she sort of raps on the door, and two guards pull them open. And she approaches, and they're very deferential towards her. And in Elvish, she tells one of them to take Aiden back to the town side. and then tells the other guard to take Elias and Cortanus to the home of the grandfather. And the guards sort of turn to regard you and sort of wait on you, it appears.
Just look to Aiden and nod at him, and we shall be back as soon as possible. Thou canst let the others know.
Later.
I know a certain pointy-eared someone who might be getting a little impatient.
I am most assured that he shall be.
Yeah, try to make sure he doesn't
You're
stab
not
anyone
wrong.
until we get back.
Question: how many braids does Bellis have in his hair?
That depends on how much patience he has for. Not
To be fair, Elise is pretty good at braiding, I think. And
Oh, yeah,
like,
she's good. She comes completely,
recommended.
she recommended, yes, thank you.
I mean, you think about it, like, especially like those, the Vikings braids, like side cornrows. She's a gnome. She has these itty bitty fingers, so it's just like.
Yeah.
And before I head out with the guards, I'll just give Elias and Cortanus a good hunting.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna go talk to a senile.
It is an interesting turn of phrase for this particular
Great.
duty, but
Okay.
take that notebook, writes that down, marks that down as another weird new thing.
Aiden, your escort back is relatively uneventful. Once you reach the promenade, the guard sort of motions and kind of steps aside and bids you a good evening, says it in Elvish, and is just sort of
Be courteous.
courteous and polite and attentively standing. You don't pick up any weirdness from him. He's just doing his job.
Yep. I'll return it and hold on.
As you progress to the other side, one of the he was a council guard, and so as you progress to the other side, there's a much stronger presence on the town side of the promenade. One of the guards there nods and is going to escort you the rest of the way, since the town is still under curfew.
Okay.
And it is now getting to be night. And he just sort of asks you to, direct where it is that you're going.
Out.
The southern gate, I believe.
He escorts you the rest of the way there. You can see there are pairs of guards walking the streets very commonly. If anyone were to be skulking about during the evening, it would be very unlikely for them to get around unseen, based on how many.
As I'm heading, I'm just I think I'm just gonna keep a peripheral on if there's anybody tailing us.
Okay, go ahead and make a perception check.
Yeah. That's not great. 8.
As far as you can tell, nobody.
Okay.
The guards sort of like, after you sort of like looking over your shoulder a bit, the guard kind of speaks up and ensures you that you are quite safe in his hands. That whoever is a danger to the city will not be a danger to you.
Oh, I'm not worried about them.
You almost get the sense that it was like he may have been trying to flirt. You're not quite sure. But like when you said, "Oh, I'm not worried about them," it's like that wasn't the response that he was expecting. He just kind of gets quiet for a while.
Shut down. You heartbreaker, Aiden, you heartbreaker.
So mean.
Once you get to the city.
Who expects that?
Oh.
You'd think all the guards would be stuffy against half-elves, but no, they're not all racist.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
There's some good eggs in this town. All right, good to know.
I mean, Aiden's got what, like an 18? Pretty.
20.
20, yeah. Supernaturally pretty, practically. But
Rough, but you know, that's a good.
the council guard escorting Cortanus and Elias proceeds at a very brisk professional pace. Not even checking to see if you're following. Once he got the signal that you're like, okay, we're ready to go, he's just going. And you wind your way through, and once you get past that sort of main T section area of the forest part of the city, it really does sort of branch out and spread out into a lot more organic, chaotic, not really anything resembling city or streets. And he guides you for it's probably maybe 5 or 10 minutes that you're walking.
As we're going along, Katas is keeping an eye on just everything around here, but also kind of, she eventually gives like a side glance to Elias. Forgive me, my lord, I did not wish to cause the added trouble.
No, it's no trouble.
I know we worked on a time frame of sorts.
We'll just have to deal.
I appreciate allowing me this.
Yeah. I mean, like Aiden said, if we, take the chance to get a little more information, it's not a bad thing.
I suppose not. Certainly hope it comes to fruition of some sorts, something useful.
Yeah.
This part of the forest is lacking in any sort of the illusion or ostentatious adornment that you had seen before near and around the promenade and council building. The buildings here are simpler. Some of them even just simple buildings built on the ground from stone and lumber, as opposed to like artfully grown from the trees. And you eventually reach what amounts to be like just a simple cottage. And the guard just sort of goes straight up, approaches it, and knocks on the door. And you can see it open, and a younger elf is sort of standing there and says, "Can I help you?" In Elvish. Guard responds, relating that you were on council business and you have been granted an audience with the grandfather if he is available. And she sort of seems very confused and like the council guard, council business, and she just kind of seems flustered. Like this is highly unusual. But she ushers you all inside and asks you to sit and sets out some tea. And you can see she's just very confused because it's council business and now there's 2 humans in her parlor.
Fair.
That is true.
Yeah.
Send the humans.
Yeah, Katan's just like, our apologies. We promise not to outstay our welcome. And she says that in her Elvish.
Right. The young elf woman is kind of surprised and taken aback that you're a human speaking in an old Elvish. And she just sort of responds back in current modern Elvish. He's often not well, but I will see if he is out for visitors. If you would perhaps wait a moment.
Of course.
And she takes a cup of tea back with her. And she's gone for a few minutes. And when she comes back, she's escorting a very elderly elf. And you can see his frame is like bowed with time. And he's got very hair very pale skin, hair that's kind of thinning, stooped. One eye's almost completely obscured. Sort of like you've never seen an elf this aged before. No, you had, but not like.
Yeah, I was wondering how close to Cillian this might have.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's this particular elf did not live the life of, and life had been hard, I think, on this particular elf. He was not a noble. If he was, he would have been veiled and probably in a much nicer place. What Semnis had said is that he was the child of a laborer that had come along with the initial migration, and so not being native to the city, they had very few rights and that sort of thing. But many non-native elves came along as well, and he's sort of like the sort of last remaining survivor. But he's not Shatterkai. Trying to figure out how not to like have that be a plot hole, but I'll figure that out later.
You'll fill the hole. It's cool.
Yeah.
Wave it off.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he sort of sits down and sort of feebly asks for honey cakes to, and then he kind of like turns to look at you two. He's like squinting his eyes. You can see like one of them like it's clouded over, and the other one is and he's sort of like shaking his head, looking at Tana. And it's almost like he's like it's a very strange parallel to when you had met with Phileas. He's sort of like not sure if he's seeing what he's seeing, and then he looks over at you, Elias. Sort of like taking you in and regarding you, and then he's like, like waiting on the younger elf, and she eventually comes by with a and sets down a plate in front of him, and then offers both of you a plate in front of you. She's brought you in, and he's sitting in basically what would amount to be like a big, super puffy recliner that's got like piled high with blankets and stuff because his bones are old and brittle. And you're kind of gently sitting gingerly on a couch, and there's like a sort of a coffee table of sorts between you. And you see the house itself is relatively simple. There's nothing here that seems to be of significant value, and everything is worn and looks like things. A lot of the furniture and the decoration is old and faded, like it's been around for a very long time. Things look like they've been patched and repaired over time. Sort of little threadbare is the right word, and kind of worn. But at the same time, it's, I think more so than any place you've been in the city, incredibly warm and inviting and comfortable. And he's sort of like nodding at you and you know, very gingerly taking a big bite of the honey cake, sort of like dribbling crumbs and stuff, and he puts it down. So, what do two humans, when he's speaking an accented comment, humans want with an old elf on? And he's sort of like, it's almost like he's like trying to get up to like spit it out, but then he's just sort of like, council business. He does not seem to be super excited about council business.
Yeah, just kind of give
It's
him.
not really council business per se.
No, simply we were hoping to hear thy stories, potentially learn something about where thou mayest come from.
You hear that, Leona? They want to hear my stories.
Oh boy, we're in for it.
She's like, yes, grandfather.
Yeah, just like give Elias like a side look, slightly apologetic, but
boy.
in like an amusing way.
Grandfather stories.
Nobody around here
Not that
listens
bad
to the
thing, just
stories anymore.
He's the elf version of Myken.
Yes. Apologies. I know that the others refer to you as grandfather, but I assume that that is not a most gracious thing for us. What couldst we call thee?
He like stops to think for a second. As I look down at my sheet of random names.
So like that'd be really rude coming from him.
It's been so long since I've heard my Tamsin.
Tamden?
Tamsin.
Tamsin.
Type it. Tamsin.
Ah! Okay.
No important family.
refresh roll 20.
You humans are a short-lived, impatient lot. I can only imagine that if the council sent you, you want to know something in particular, and you're not here to listen to some else stories.
Yeah. Gives kind of a rueful smile at that. Twould I were able to, I would, but I was perhaps curious to know what thou wouldst knowest of the forest, and the Lushgut, and potentially a place known as the. And she's saying this all in the. She switched over to the Old Elvish. The one known as the Elderwood.
Nobody likes to call it that anymore.
You're old-fashioned like that.
They don't like. They don't even like to say the name.
So who's this you're talking to right
My family. We weren't nobles. We weren't warriors. We were laborers. I was young, too young to understand our circumstances. My parents loved me and they did what they could for me. And it's only long after that I really understood our place in that society. We had no place. We had no family name that was our own. We were not good enough to be of the people.
Thomas frowns at that. Kingdom is built on those who can create.
The kingdom is built by those who would create it. But it falls at the feet who would only exploit it. It was a beautiful city. The mockery they try and build here pales in comparison. we were blessed by the matron. We were protected and we were safe. But there were those of us who did not trust in her and abandoned her long ago. I don't remember many details of the city, but the richest and most powerful lived nearest the pool. I never had seen it myself. I'd only ever heard. Yes. A pool of beautiful, silver-like water that always reflected the light brilliantly and almost seemed to absorb sunlight. What little filtered through the boughs of the trees. Oh, those trees were so much larger than grows here. They stretched on, taller than you could see. The entirety of the forest was always... The trees were so big and they protected us until they began to change. The sickness grew in the trees far outside the city. And that's when the monsters started coming. Those of us on the outside of the city, we were the most in danger. And it was